Today, I am going to explain a Japanese movie with a unique, critical concept. I think you might like this different concept movie because I have never seen a movie with this kind of concept before. At the beginning of the story, we are shown two buses going down the road. There are many female students on the buses, all of whom are going to their class. One of them is named Mitsuko, who is very cute in appearance. When she is writing something in her notebook, her friends start saying to her, "Do you keep writing all the time? What will you get by making such notes? Look, everyone is enjoying. Why don't you do it?" Mitsuko snatches the bus, and her pen falls down. As she bends to pick up the pen, we see something coming very fast and cutting both buses along with the girls in half, causing all the girls to be cut into two parts. As soon as Mitsuko gets up, she is shocked to see what has happened. Since she had bent down to pick up the pen, she was saved. She gets very scared after seeing this, gets off the bus, and starts running. Here, we come to know that the thing which attacked them was nothing but the wind that was blowing everyone away. This wind now starts chasing Mitsuko as well. Seeing this, Mitsuko starts running very fast while screaming. While running, she sees 4 more girls ahead of her and runs after them. She asks them to bend down, but it was too late. The wind cuts them in half and goes away. However, Mitsuko saves one girl from among them. Then they see some girls cycling and going somewhere. Mitsuko tries to save them too, but the wind does the same thing to them as it did with her friends. During this, the girl who was just saved from that invisible thing also gets killed. Now, she gets very scared after seeing this and starts running here and there. Next, we see that when Mitsuko goes near a river, she is surprised to see that there are already many dead bodies lying in the river, carried away by the wind, i.e., that invisible body. From where the thing had attacked her, she changes into the clothes of a dead body. In the next scene, we see Mitsuko walking towards a school where there are many other female students. Their uniform is quite different from Mitsuko's uniform, which means she is not a student of their school. Then a girl comes to Mitsuko and starts saying to her, "How are you?" Actually, that girl was her best friend, but Mitsuko asks her, "Are you really my best friend?" Because she was not able to understand what is happening to her. She was in a lot of shock. Here, we also learn that Mitsuko and her best friend love each other very much. When suddenly, a strong wind starts blowing, Mitsuko gets scared and goes inside the building. Her best friend does not understand what is happening and starts asking Mitsuko, "Why are you shivering so much? Why are you so scared? What has happened to you?" Then, Mitsuko tells everything to her best friend, explaining that suddenly a gust of wind came and killed all the students at her school. Hearing this, her friend gets very angry. Her friend takes her to the window, stretches her hand out, and says, "Look, this is just the wind and nothing else." Here, Mitsuko's heart finds some peace, and she starts thinking that maybe this could just be a dream leading to this situation. Later, Mitsuko's best friend takes 2 of her friends and makes a plan to close the class. Just as the 4 of them are about to leave the classroom, their teacher arrives and sees them. But all 4 of them run away from there. While running, they reach a lake where Mitsuko's best friend tells her 2 friends about her dream. Then one of the girls says that it is possible this is true, like there is a mirror world where the situation is the opposite of this world. Saying this, she throws a stone in the pond and says, "Look, I have thrown a stone here, but it is possible that I may not have done so in the other world." Then suddenly, a crocodile comes out of that pond and eats one of the girls. The girl starts saying, "Look, I told you that what happens in this world does not happen in that world at all, and what is happening in that world cannot happen in this world. So this girl has been eaten by a crocodile in that world. But look here, this is absolutely safe." Near the same lake, a bed is seen. The 4 of them start playing with pillows from the bed. Then we see 2 girls watching them from a distance. One of the 2 girls is in bridal attire because these 2 girls got married to each other. After this, one of their friends tells them, "We have to do something which is impossible in that world because our fate has already been written, but we can change it." After this, all these girls return to their school and go to the class to take the next lecture. Then they see Mitsuko with a pillow lying near her. Mitsuko bends down to pick up the pillow. Then, her teacher starts firing a gun in the whole class, and as soon as Mitsuko picks up the pillow and looks up, all the girls in her class die. They had already left, and once again, she is saved, just as she was saved last time in her dreams. Mitsuko's teacher comes to her and says, "How dare you close this class? Your death is certain if you also die." At that moment, 2 more girls come and try to save Mitsuko, running away from there, but another teacher arrives and kills both girls. Now, Mitsuko tries to run away with all the students whose lives were saved, but all the teachers of the school start firing at the girls. During the firing, as soon as all the girls come out of there, the wind cuts them. Mitsuko is left alone again. She runs away and goes to the police station through the crowded area, where she starts telling everything. After listening to this, the police officer says, "But you are not wearing school clothes." And when she places a mirror in front of her, Mitsuko sees that she has completely changed. People start calling her by some other name, not Mitsuko's name. Here, we come to know that she was about to get married, and the same police officer takes her for her wedding. Seeing this, the people around her congratulate her. As soon as they take her to the church, Mitsuko's best friend is also present there. Mitsuko starts asking her, "What is happening to me?" Her friend tells her to keep quiet for now, saying, "We are still under someone's control. Just do as I say." Saying this, her friend helps her wear her wedding dress and asks her to go forward. As soon as Mitsuko moves toward the wedding ceremony, all the girls there start making fun of her. Seeing this, her best friend begins killing everyone one by one. Afterward, as Mitsuko continues forward, she sees a coffin where her groom should be. When the coffin is opened, a big pig comes out. Mitsuko becomes very frightened upon seeing it and attacks the pig with a broken bottle. Afterward, Mitsuko and her best friend run out of the church. Meanwhile, Mitsuko runs in the opposite direction, because now she begins to feel that something very wrong is happening to her. Going further, she looks at herself in another mirror and finds herself changed once again. At the place where Mitsuko is, a race is happening, and something comes near her. The girls nearby ask her, "You're a great racer. Why are you standing still? Why aren't you running?" When Mitsuko starts running, she feels a surge of energy. Mitsuko tries her best to win the race while running. At that moment, she also sees her dead friends, who were killed at her school some time ago. Her best friend arrives, and both of them notice the same pig and the women who were stopping them at the church coming toward them. While running, some girls start telling Mitsuko, "You have to leave this world." After that, we see Mitsuko running away and reaching a deserted, dark place where some students are seen wearing uniforms. All the girls there start telling Mitsuko, "We're all dead, and we will kill you too." But then, Mitsuko's best friend arrives, kills the girls, and takes Mitsuko away from there. Mitsuko's best friend asks her to say her name loudly, and upon hearing this, Mitsuko starts saying her name aloud. With this, Mitsuko returns to her original form. Her best friend shows her hand and says, "Please pull out the wire that's tied to my hand so I can leave this world." But Mitsuko is afraid. There's a fear that pulling the wire might cost her life. Since Mitsuko loved her best friend so much, she didn't want to do it. However, after being forced, she pulls the wire, and as soon as she does, her best friend's body breaks into 2 parts, getting divided. At that very moment, Mitsuko sees a gate. When she steps through it, she realizes she's entered the world of men. There were posters of her, and some boys were looking at them. A boy approaches Mitsuko and says, "You're in the future." Hearing this, she faints. After some time, when she regains consciousness, she moves forward and sees an old man playing a game. In that game, Mitsuko is seen as the same character created just now. When the old man notices Mitsuko, he says, "I created this game, and I'm the one who is controlling you all. You were killed a long time ago, but I took your DNA and recreated you." Upon hearing this, Mitsuko realizes that everything is a game. She starts thinking that maybe she can still return to her world. At that moment, a man calls her to him. The old man then asks Mitsuko to complete her final level. Mitsuko starts moving forward, but suddenly remembers something her friend had said. She recalls that if they do something in this world that's impossible in the other world, they will be able to escape the game. With that in mind, she strangles the man and says, "Stop playing with us." Then, Mitsuko picks up the old man's stick and stabs him in the stomach, killing him. The old man, unable to imagine that Mitsuko would do something like this, meets his end. As a result, Mitsuko's destiny changes completely. She was dead in the game world, but is still alive in the real world. Further on, we see that other characters from Mitsuko's world die for various reasons and are no longer part of the game. In the next scene, Mitsuko is lying on a snowy landscape, back in the real world, and this mind-boggling story ends here. After watching and explaining this movie, I must admit, I didn't understand a thing. I hope I'm not the only one. The story felt so confusing that trying to make sense of it was pure mental torture. If you managed to figure out the real meaning behind this movie, let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to suggest which movie I should explain next.